She's a one owner, low miles, only driven to church on Sundays, bud, I promise. Jesus Christ. What is going on, guys? Can you believe it's been like 3 months since I dragged this Dana 60 home, and we haven't messed with it yet. And so today I think I'm gonna kind of open the door. It's not too cold outside, and we're gonna drag this thing out where I've got some room to work on it. We're gonna fire up the plasma cutter, cut some stuff off, maybe open up the diff cover, check out what's inside, and go from there. Definitely don't have a lot of room to work on this thing. I gotta move all this crap out of the way, but I did build this axle stand to get it up here to make it easier to work on and store. And if you want to check that out, I made a video about building that. I'll link that. But yeah, let's get this cleaned up. We got her pulled out and ready to go. We got the plasma cutter out. By the way, if you want to check out these Yes Welder things, I got links down in my description about that. You can see the evidence of some of the stuff that I already cut off of here, and I did that because I had to in order to set it on this stand, because it was kind of keeping me from being able to put anything on this side. So what we're gonna do here is, obviously I'm sticking with leaf springs in the front of this Jeep, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this truss yet. I don't like it that much, but it would save me a ton of work. All I would really have to do is trim some more of this out so that I can get my leaf where it needs to be. And on this side you can see there's the factory perch. I'll probably end up cutting that off, and I have a new one that'll slide over 1/2 inch, much like I did on that axle. So as far as the rest of this stuff goes, I do not like this bar, and I do not like this ram mount, and that doesn't mean I'm not gonna eventually use a double-ended ram. I just don't like the location of it, and my leaf needs to come through here, and this is just gonna, it's not gonna work where it's at. So I'm gonna try to cut it pretty close, and I'll hold on to this, and maybe I can, once it's under the Jeep, I can rotate it into a different spot to where it'll clear and still use it, and if not, no big deal. And then it's going to be a little tricky to cut it off the truss. I'll probably have to flip it and do it from the underside. Just get kind of a rough and dirty cut just to get all this crap off of here first. We've got these tabs, those tabs, that coil bucket, and those tabs. I don't know why this guy had so many fucking tabs, but they're coming off. So I have faith in my stand being strong enough to hold this thing. This thing is super heavy. With all this extra weight of having the outers and everything on it, what I don't know is it gonna try to just spin within itself, which could cause the whole thing to fall over. That's why I've had this tied down on the front and that one on the back. But when I go to cut this off of here, what I don't want is this side to just swing down, because all this weight is kind of biased to that side. And I don't want it to like fall and get damaged or hurt me or anything like that. This one's trying to walk up out of here. Oh, the leaf perch is gonna hit it. Frickin' sirens. So a couple videos ago, I told you guys to guess what size tires, or what kind of tires that I bought for this thing, and they still haven't got here. So they should be here at the 1st of March-ish. So anyway, nobody in the comments guessed it right, but a couple people were really close on the size. So I'm gonna go through there and I'm gonna pick whichever one I think's closest. I'll comment back, and then I'll end up sending you guys a couple stickers or whatever. So keep an eye out for that comment. To be honest with you, I always get super nervous cutting and making this much sparks in a garage that is attached to my house. So we are bringing the old fire extinguisher over here, and I've got like 2 more in here in case that one were to fail or not work. So let's make some fire. shop supervisor's out here making sure I don't burn the damn house down. What do you got to say about that? Alright, you can go in. So I know everybody's from a different part of the country, but is it just here in the Midwest that we're having like the weakest winter that I've ever seen? I mean, I'm not complaining. I love that I can sit here and work with the door open. It's 42 degrees out. That might sound cold to some people, but around here it ain't bad. And we had one cold snap with 6 inches of snow. It melted like 3 days later, and it's just been like 40s and kind of like November. Who knows, maybe this whole winter I'll be this way, but I am keeping this Jeep together to go on a snow wheel and run. It's in 2 weeks, I think. And I sure hope we get some snow for that, because, you know, it's kind of hard to have a snow run without snow. You know, I'm one of those people, I just can't work with gloves, and that's the price you pay. That's a couple hot balls of molten metal landed on my hand, and I'm pretty sure yesterday I did the same thing welding. That's a burn on that fingernail. So if you're one of those people that can stand wearing bitch mittens, more power to you, but I just can't work like that. I don't know, I just can't do it. So obviously I got a bunch of cleanup to do here, and I can actually take the plasma and gouge this down a little farther so I have less grinding to do. Alright, this should keep it from over-rotating. I hooked around the snout of the pinion, up and over the front, and down to this leg, so it shouldn't, in theory, be able to go anywhere. So let's get this bar off of here now. So I think I'll leave this attached to the bar, and we're just going to make a real rough cut right here. It's not going to be overly close to the truss, but it's just to separate it, cut those off, and the whole thing should drop. So I can't decide what to do with this truss, whether I want to cut it off or modify it and try to use it. So for right now, I think I'm going to leave it on there, and let me show you why. So I do want a front truss. This one's kind of crappy. It doesn't look very good. And let me show you the one I built on this Dana 44. And this is out of basically the same truck, and it's got the same dimension axle. It's just a 44. So I actually built kind of like these bridges that go over top the leaves, and the truss comes all the way out here to the axle C's. And if I ever need to get my leaves out, they can get unbolted from the end and just pulled out this way. Maybe you can see this one a little better. It kind of just goes up and over, and it's all boxed in, and it makes it way stronger that way. And I also use that for my Hydro Assist mount. But I will also tell you, that was an astronomical amount of work, and there is a video on my channel about it if you want to check it out. The video is like a half an hour long. It took me a couple weeks to just sitting here cutting cardboard pieces and figuring out what's going to work, what's going to clear, what's going to get in the way. So the decision I have to make is whether or not I'm going to build that same thing and take what I learned off of that one and hopefully make it a little better on this one. Or I could just take the easy way out and use this ugly one that's on here. So I think with that, we're gonna call it on the cutting. And what do you say we open this up and see what kind of locker this has? I don't even remember what the guy said, if it's either a spool or a Lockrite or maybe a lunchbox locker. I don't know. It's just some sort of like either full-time or automatic type locker that's in here. Maybe a Grizzly. I don't know, and I'm curious. So I don't have high hopes of there being diff oil in here because most of these are incredibly like finger loose. Ooh, don't go down in there. Yep, there's no oil in it. Oh, that's not chooched up or anything. It's a good thing I'm putting the aux locker in here and resetting up these gears. Jesus Christ. She's a one owner, low miles, only driven to church on Sundays, bud, I promise. I don't know if it's currently in the state of causing that to happen or if that's some old damage. So far, I don't see any teeth that are chooched out. I can barely see the pinion, but what I can see looks alright. And yes, they are 513s. I don't see any surprises down in the bottom. Any big chunks or pieces of teeth or anything. I would like to know what locker this is. I see a spring in there. I don't know, what do you say? Should we pop this carrier out of here and look at the pinion? Yeah, I'm an idiot. The axle shafts are still in it. It's not going to come out with the axle shafts in there, Dan. Honestly, I don't have enough time to tear apart the outers to get the shafts out to be able to actually pull this all the way out. So that's going to have to come probably in the next video on this series. So I actually have to leave and go pick up something that's for a completely different video, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy that one. And no, I didn't buy another shit box, so don't worry about that. Well, we didn't get a whole lot done today, but you know what they say, progress is progress. So don't forget, guys, I have stickers available. I'll put them in a link down below. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.